Top of the morning, beloved. Shy G. Stay away from simp pastors, spiritual men who teach you to be a lesser form of yourself in your manhood, in your masculinity, in your dominance, in the natural God-given abilities that whoever you believe as your creator has bestowed upon you. There's a spiritual weakness out here that's promoting to men, especially in the church house, abroad radio stations, TV sitcoms, that promotes the religious path for men to be docile, to be tainted, to be effeminate, to also be more of a helpmeet than the head. There are a lot of spiritual systems in America, in the West, that train men to not only be docile, but also be domesticated, to be neutered, to be damn near castrated in their masculinity. Why do I say this? If you notice pastors in church, you notice a lot of us young men are not even there no more, just the old heads. But for young men my age, in your 20s, and even young men in their 30s, I want you to understand that do not let family members and the tradition they pass down with whatever religion they believe and whatever God they serve and however they believe they should serve God, however they see God, don't let that be passed down to you and you realize the man's role in their spiritual system is a place of weakness. It's not a place of strength. It's not a place of boldness, courageousness. It's not a place of honor. It's not a place of, in the form of a head, the departments of headship. The only parts of the headship that society preaches in the church and outside of the church is protect and provide. There are so many more departments of headship that comes with a man besides protect and provide. A man does way more than that for the family emotionally and mentally. But we'll get into that later on down the line. Beware of spiritual simps. Beware of those that use religious systems to put you in a subservient role to the woman, to put you in a damn near fan role to her. By nature, whatever you believe, woman was designed to be your helper. Across a lot of spiritual paths, it tells us that a lot of spiritual systems in the world believe that women were designed to be the man's helper in creation. Not you being her equal, not you being behind her, on side of her. You are to lead her. Don't no truly feminine woman want a man who she has to ask, baby, do you got that? Do you need me to step in? Do I need to lead the family? When it comes to certain things that's dire, I understand that. But on an everyday basis, no sir. Beware of these spiritual pastors who are simps, twist and turn in certain scriptures. Even in other societies, they use other religions. Beware of how they twist the things that's in scrolls, just things that's in old books, to pander to the audience of women in the West, because there's a big market lying to women. But brothers, a lot of brothers find themselves with a spiritual belief that's so detrimental to their manhood, that's so detrimental to their masculinity, that's so detrimental to the maleological ways of thinking and the rational ways and the pragmaticism of thinking. A lot of men will find themselves not only not speaking the language of man to other men, you won't be speaking the language of man to woman. And that's going to be called out. That's going to be identified by not only men, but also women. But we're not telling young men this. There's a generation of men before us, Gen Z men, who did not know this as well. They just went along with the pastor said, the deacon said. They went along with what they heard on the radio when it comes to gospel music and how family should be as far as spiritual units. Brothers, be wary, be careful of that, because a lot of men, way beyond the mental wiring of his mind, the spiritual wiring of his being, really believes that he needs to be a simp. His masculinity is wrong. His hunting, the hunter in him, is wrong. Well, if he practiced polyamory or monogamy, they have completely shunned that out of the equation, that it's wrong for a man to be polyamorous. But that's a choice. if the woman he's willing to deal with and the women he's willing to deal with all on one accord with it. And he can not only sustain these women sexually, because it's not about the sexual. Can he sustain these women mentally, emotionally, and physically, and financially, as well as the kids? Does he have the capacity for that? Okay? But that's the polyamory thing. Stay away from spiritual simps, man. They'll be saying deep shit and have a lot of young men mind gone. And it'll take some time for a lot of young men to come up out of that. You have to be aware of that. It's profit in pedestalizing women in the West. And they won't only do it in movies and commercials and games and movies and school systems and politics. They will do it in a very religious place where y'all say y'all worship y'all deity, God. They will put woman on the same pedestalization as God, if need be, to get a certain message across, to get purses and screens pulled so money can come out. Stay away from spiritual simps. Pastors, deacons, your homeboy who's a spiritual simp. I don't give a damn who it is. If you gotta love some people from a distance because it's detrimental to your manhood and masculinity and your morality and your principles and your understanding and your firmness and the lock that you're gonna have and that you need in life as far as manhood and perseverance. Love them from a distance there. But beware of your spiritual simps who want you to be the helpmeet and her be the head, damn you. They won't say that outright, but they'll say enough to get you to see that, yeah, you want me to be a weak man. You don't want me to lead a family. Be careful, all right? Shaji, Mo on the way this morning. It's a good morning.